Hey guys, welcome back to the Golf Podcast. This is episode number 331, and we're going to mix it up. We're going to do something a little different. We've got a PGA Tour pro on the show today, which is exciting. I mean, it's, we don't...
Always exciting.
It always is. We don't get to cover enough PGA Tour pros, enough PGA Tour stuff on the podcast because, we're diving into instruction and different things like that. But you and I, we're big fans of watching golf and particularly big fans of what Morgan Hoffman is doing,
right?
Raising money for his foundation, which we're going to talk about in a moment, but also kind of a little bit close to our hearts is that he's a local guy.
Local guy, born and raised here in Bergen County, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Morgan's a member at Arcola Country Club. Beautiful country club. It's one of my favorites in the area.
Yeah, rub it in. I never got to play it.
We'll get you out there.
I got to get out there.
I'm saying like I'm the member. Yeah, we'll get you out there.
Yeah.
I've got a pull. No. Maybe Morgan does. Yeah, we'll see. No, of course he does. But no, a local guy, went to Ramapo High School, played in the 2009 Walker Cup alongside Ricky Fowler. And I think he even went to Oklahoma State for a couple of years after that. And
finished T29, the 2012 U.S. Open. But, unfortunately, diagnosed with muscular dystrophy in 2017 at the age of 27. But since then, I mean, he's not been quiet about it, and that's what I love. He's been out there, both from an informative standpoint and also raising money. I know he has a big charity event that he does right here at Arcola. I think almost every single year. Obviously, this year, unfortunately, COVID has mixed all of that up, which, speaking of which, sadly, he's not here with us because he's in Florida, not doing as much traveling because of what's going on with the pandemic. So in a minute, we're going to cut to that interview, which we had to do remotely. But yeah, I mean, it's fun to get a chance to talk to him and get a little bit of his insight. So I'm looking forward to bringing him on the show here in a second. Before we do, of course, let's pay some bills and thank some of our sponsors. First off, I want to thank Titleist. Whether it's the tour level shaping and feel of the T100, the powerful playable distance of the T200, or the maximum speed and forgiveness you get out of the T300. The T Series is a power-packed lineup of performance, but all that innovation goes in for only one reason, and that's to help Titleist players put lower scores on the card. So guys, visit Titleist.com to learn more about the T-Series irons and ask your local fitter to get you fit for these T-Series irons, because I'll tell you what, the fitting is what opened my eyes. I ended up with a little bit of a mixed bag of the T200 and T300 irons. First time ever mixing it up, and wow, I'm reaping the benefits from it. So check it out. Go to Titleist.com to learn a little bit more about the new T-Series.
I think Morgan's a Titleist guy too.
All right.
Pretty confident about that.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to ask Jeremy to fact check it over there because I'm pretty confident in it. So I just want to thank ShotScope, guys. The V3s, they're here, and the G3s. Finally, they are here. We've got ours like we've been talking about for weeks now, and I'm sure a lot of you have gotten yours already. So hope you're enjoying them. But if you're new to the show, and you haven't even heard the name, let me explain a little bit more. The ShotScope V3 and G3 watches, let me just break them down. The G3, it's GPS only. We're familiar with GPS watches. Great pinpoint, accurate GPS. The V3 has that plus the incredible stat tracking feature that we all love.
And you get to see in so many of our videos.
Yeah, that's what you see. All the stats are there. We had an amazing video the other day where we call like discipline golf. And, we had all of our stats for that. So definitely check that out if it's not out already, but it'll be there. Like I said, it's here. The watch is here. So check it out. Go to shotscope.com. Get yourself a V3 or a G3, whatever you're into. And if you're not into stats, collecting stats, give it a shot. I mean, I don't even think it's that, the price point isn't that much more to get it. And if money isn't the issue and you've thought about, recording stats, give it a shot. Because if you don't, then you could just sit back and use the GPS version.
Yeah, but once you get those stats, you never look back.
You never look back.
Yeah, you get to a point where, personally, I couldn't live without it now.
Right.
Because I'm like, I want to know. I want to know. Right. So, and because the fact that the ShotScope does it all hands off, it's the home run for me. You don't have to do anything. It's just tracking your stats as you play. You wear the watch. You got the tags. You're good to go.
And some of those bragging, those rights too. Like when I drove the green during Mulligan match play. First thing I did when I got in the car was load it up to see how far the drive went.
Yeah.
So it's all right there.
Plus, you get to show off a little bit on the Golficity leaderboard.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And check that out, guys. The code on that leaderboard is GICITY. So get on there. Get yourself a ShotScope G3 or V3 today by visiting shotscope.com. And lastly, guys, just want to thank FootJoy. They know a little something about the ground and its fickle nature. That's why FootJoy offers more styles for more players than any other brand. I mean, you could take on every step, every condition, and every lie now with confidence. Whether it's the max performance of the all-new Tour X, the all-around comfort and versatility of the Flex XP, or the timeless styling of the Dry Joys Tour, or a number of other shoes that FootJoy offers, they have a shoe that fits every one of our swings. New to the FootJoy lineup this year in 2020 is the all-new Pro SLs, which you've seen in our videos. Just last week, Frank, you were rocking those
wearing them
new
a lot
ones
lately.
Yeah, you're loving them. I'm digging them too. I even wore my Carbons for the first time the other day, all blackout. These shoes are great. They offer more stability, more traction, and more comfort than ever before. So, guys, visit footjoy.com to find the right shoe for your game.
Yep. All right. So we're going to cut over to our interview again. Like, sadly, we had to do it remotely. One day, maybe we'll get Morgan in studio. It's funny, local guy, and we couldn't do in studio. But
maybe next time he's around up here, maybe he'll let us sneak out for a hole or two. We'll do a little walk and talk interview with him.
There you go. There you go.
Beautiful Arcola.
Excited to get over that interview, so we won't delay it any longer. Let's bring Morgan on the show now. All right, guys. So we're excited to welcome 2020 PGA Tour Courage Award honoree Morgan Hoffman to the show. Morgan, it is great to speak with you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm pumped to be joining some fellow New Jerseyans.
Yeah, man. We are psyched to have you. So for those listening who don't know, Morgan, you were diagnosed with muscular dystrophy back in 2016. And since then, it's been quite a journey. I've been enjoying hearing some of the things you've been doing and progressing through that. But for anyone who doesn't know, tell us a little bit about that. How are you feeling now? Where are you at in that journey right now?
Yeah, I'm pretty deep into it. I guess the journey kind of started from when my right pec started atrophying and I just didn't know what was going on, and went through like 6 years of trying to find what was happening. Finally found it in 2016, as you said, and then now it's kind of just ever evolving journey of like a natural holistic approach, kind of going away from kind of like needles and pills and all that kind of stuff to more nature cures and things that are, kind of, I guess, easier to obtain. It's just a crazy world. I can talk about it for so much.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's more herbal and holistic whole food kind of diet. And now I'm going back and forth to Costa Rica for some treatment.
Gotcha. Because there is no other conventional or otherwise known cure for this, correct?
Right. Yeah, that's what, the American world kind of says. And I just don't believe it. And that's why I'm kind of on this journey to find something that is from nature that can cure this disease and hopefully others. Gotcha.
And I know the big part of what you've been doing is also raising a lot of awareness. And one thing that struck me was when you, and I'd heard this in some other interviews you did, how you had gone to many doctors, they ran lots of tests on you, and a lot of it had to be frustrating hearing them come back saying they didn't know what it was. But is that a function of it just not being a very common, disease, or is it that there's just not enough knowledge out there in the medical community? What would lead so many doctors to not know?
Mainly because it was such a acute area. It was only my right pec for a long time. And then all the testing that they could do for muscular dystrophy was like muscle testing, like hold your arm up and, and I was like, look, you can test me. I'm strong in all these areas. Like I play golf for a living. Like I'm telling you, it's not affecting anywhere else except right here. And then over time it went to my left pec. Now it's in my right quad. I guess it wasn't that common. Maybe I was going to the wrong doctors. It was frustrating. Definitely.
Yeah. But so you just kept pushing for an answer. Cause I mean, as a professional athlete, I mean, you're very in tune to what your body's doing, more so than a lot of us. Right. So you just were like, no, something's up, and just kept pushing for answers. Is that how that kind of went?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I needed an answer to kind of move forward and either try and heal it or just be like, all right, I have some like bacteria eating me from the inside. Like all this crazy shit was going through my head.
Yeah. Well, especially when the doctors are shaking their heads, you're going to start to really
Yeah, I thought I had like some flesh-eating line of worms eating me out.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I want to kind of jump in there because Morgan, I've heard you on other interviews talk about, that moment where, they finally found out what it was. And at that point, what goes through your head? I mean, you talk about, you talked about this trip to Nepal and this seek for answers and a cure. So what do you do at that point? I mean, where'd the journey start for you? What made you get on a plane and go to Nepal and things like that? And what happened out there?
yeah. I mean, it all started from that phone call of kind of just being like flabbergasted that like, no, I can't have this. This is ridiculous. This guy's an idiot. And then 2 months later, coming back and showing the results positive, it was just like, I don't understand kind of thing.
Did you still not believe it then? Do you still not, was it like a
Yeah,
tough to,
there's like something in me still that doesn't want to believe it,
right.
like, and maybe I've kind of found that to be kind of a good thing because to be able to heal, so much comes from the mind and your belief in whatever you're taking. You hear the placebo effect all the time, and in most cases, more people healing from the placebo effect because they believe in it than an actual pill that they take. And like I've researched so many studies like that, and Dr. Joe Dispenza is a guy that I study under, and he try to make the story quick, but he broke his back in a triathlon and was paralyzed from the neck down, I believe, and then healed himself on a hospital bed face down. He couldn't move, and within 6 weeks he was walking again just by meditating. And like visualizing his spine like healing again. So for my like healing journey, it's really an all-encompassing from the health standpoint of eating to mind to spirit to everything. And I think it all comes into play. And to jump back on track here with going to Nepal, yeah, I was in the middle of doing a cleanse to kind of get rid of toxins out of the body. And my girlfriend at the time, now wife, was actually in Nepal doing some charity work for a charity that we've also helped. There was like a big earthquake in Nepal a while ago, and a bunch of kids, their families had to rebuild their city or their village, and the kids were like orphaned for like a year or two. So that we helped build like a tent and like a school and all that kind of stuff. And she was over there doing that and happened to run into this doctor through some of our friends over there, who was at the time treating a guy with Parkinson's and muscular dystrophy who's been in a wheelchair for 20 years. And within 2 weeks of treating him, he was walking again.
Wow.
So that's kind of what sparked me going over there. And it was an all herbal treatment. It was 90 days, 6 hours a day, every day of just like laying on a table and basically having herbs and roots and bark and all this stuff rubbed all over me from my neck all the way down, and basically trying to detox the body of any toxins or, malfunctions in the genetic structure. And the doctor over there kind of promised me like, hey, stay 2 weeks, and if you don't see any results, you can leave. I was like, all right, what can I lose? So 2 months into it, I didn't see any results. And I was like, man, this is so frustrating. It's really hard on my body. It's hard on me mentally. I hate having dudes rubbing all over me all day. Like,
right.
But
what kept you there for the 2 months?
Yeah. So what kept me was I sat down and talked with Chelsea, my wife, and I was like, look, I don't know if this makes sense anymore. Should I be doing something else? Like, it's not, I don't see anything changing. And she's like, if you leave now, you're going to forever, the rest of your life, think what could have happened in this last month. So I stayed, and I'm glad that I did, because I did start seeing some difference. And it definitely helped, I think, slow down the atrophy. So that was like kind of step one. And I'm very happy that I took it. It was difficult, but now I'm even more further along the path.
Yeah. Cause I mean, especially once you get that a little bit, that taste of like, it's working, that you just keep driving. So that's what's driving you is the Costa Rica experience going to be something similar? What's your path there?
Yeah, so I've been down there twice already. Been working with a root and a vine mixed together into like a tea. You might have heard it. It's called ayahuasca.
Okay.
And a lot of people will categorize it as like a psychedelic, kind of like a psilocybin, like mushrooms, but times 100. And it's really not a psychedelic. It's something so much more powerful than that. It connects you to. It's crazy to say this because just a few months ago, like I would have thought I was crazy saying this. So whoever's listening, like,
right.
But it connects you to different dimensions and teaches you. It teaches you what you need to know, and whether that's you come into this ceremony, it's guided by shamans and all this. It's made by hand, and it's a very kind of spiritual process. Not spiritual in the sense of like God and religion, but more spiritual, like just like believing in your body that's connected to earth that can all heal together kind of thing. Sure. And obviously, we feed ourselves from the earth and it can all heal naturally. So it was a crazy experience, and it was life-changing for me. And
so you've done that experience. This is something.
Yeah. So it was a 4-day.
Okay.
It was a 4-day experience. Each day had one ceremony that lasted 8 hours each night. And it was crazy. The third night was the most insane for me. I had some amazing epiphanies and kind of like healing sensations, and it was really, really crazy just to be able to open the mind and have the brain synapses like reach something that has never in my mind been accessible before.
Yeah.
Or even not even knowledgeable about it. It's just mind blowing. And now I understand why, like, it's illegal in some countries, right? Because it's, it can, I wouldn't call it like an addictive substance because it's hard, man. Like you're sitting there for like an hour, then you're throwing up, and then you're like yourself.
Yeah.
Having all these like crazy like things going on, and it's a purgatory. So it's basically getting what you have in you out. And they say like their whole, I'm getting like goosebumps talking about it. Their whole like statement is what's coming is going. So if you're feeling like you want to quit this, or you want to curl up in a ball, or you want to like get mad or whatever, like that's good. That means like this bad stuff is coming up, and then you're able to let it out. So it was really crazy. Then the second time in Costa Rica was kind of a step up from that, called iboga. It was a root of another plant. And the locals call it the grandfather. Ayahuasca is like the nurturing mother, and the iboga is like the stern grandfather. So whatever you have in you, like it's gonna be out, like real. And it's crazy. People have been cured from cancer in one night, like tumors gone. A woman next to me who did it, ayahuasca, the first time, she had been deaf for 40 years, and after the first night could hear again. Her husband was there with her.
Get out of here.
That's so wild. I caught somewhere in my consciousness, I caught a documentary on that a couple of years ago and saw that with those instant healing that had come from it. But I think a big part of my understanding, at least of it, was that the guidance was as much as the quote unquote drug itself. Like you had to have the right people there guiding you through it, right?
100%. You can't do it on your own.
Yeah.
You have no idea what's going on, and you need that guidance, and they have doctors there as well, just in case anything happens. But
and you feel like you're in that state for 8 hours?
Yeah, 8 hours, and each night. And then iboga, the stern grandfather, is a 30-hour ceremony. So it's like the most intense thing. Yeah.
I bet.
That's wild. I mean, the question I have, I mean, this might it kind of sound weird, but do you feel like there's any part of you that feels like oddly fortunate to have had this happen to you because it's led you in a journey that you would not have otherwise taken? Like you're meeting people, you're having these experiencing these eye and mind opening experiences that you might not otherwise have had if you'd, I guess, not had this diagnosis and kind of taken a more traditional life. Do you feel like there's some part of you, as much as it seems crazy to say fortunate for muscular dystrophy, but sometimes it's weird how life gives you these turns, you know what I mean? And I'm wondering your take on that.
No, it's, I'm glad you've seen that perspective because, you know, like when I was a kid, I thought getting to the PGA Tour was hard, you know, and now that this has arisen, I don't know.
Yeah, one of those.
Has came up. Yeah, it seems like my life has been easy up to that point. You know, and like play golf for a living. Like, come on, you know, we're so lucky. Yes, of course, it's hard work, it's dedication, but nothing like this. To be a guinea pig for something that is incurable, and not only doing it for yourself, but hopefully for like the world at some point. Yeah, it's euphoric. It's difficult. It's challenging. It's pressure packed. But I'm very lucky to have a great support team. My wife is awesome. She stands by me and does all the diets that I do with me, which is amazing to have. But yeah, I think my platform has been really shown. It's shown me where I need to go with it because I can help, I think, so many people, and with the connections I've made with the PGA Tour and sponsors, and I've been very fortunate to meet influential people, and hopefully one day, once I have something solidified and have this wellness center built, we can really help a lot of people naturally.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to talk.
Go ahead, Mike.
Sorry, I cut you off, Frank. No, I want to talk about that. The MHF Health and Wellness Center. What is the vision there? What's the plans?
Man, the vision from day one has been a health and wellness center where, obviously muscular dystrophy patients can come if, you know, we have that cure hopefully one day, but we want it to be an education center for mainly like teaching people how they can eat raw diets and cleanse their system, and why it's good for them, and how to, you know, treat different types of diseases and ailments, and obesity or being skinny, whatever it is, through all the research through the years my wife and I have done, and the doctors and nutritionists we've studied on. We think this is the best path for healing naturally without having to go to a doctor and being prescribed medicine over and over again for something that isn't the root cause. You know, it's just a side effect, like, oh, my neck hurts, or, you know, whatever. We want to treat the root cause, and we think that is all stem from diet, number one. So the wellness center is going to have a huge kitchen and like a farm, either on the roof or on the property. All the food will come from the farm. We'll have nutritionists and chefs teaching how to cook meals and make them taste good. And then we'll have doctors there that will draw your blood and do an analysis, and nutritionists and trainers. We'll have a huge gym, and then hot and cold tubs, and it's just be like a all-encompassing one-stop shop, and for like to recoup your health and learn on all these types of topics. Yeah.
And the plan will be in Florida for this.
You know, it's been moving a lot. We have an opportunity in Florida. But we've actually also been looking in Costa Rica, because the government there is so supportive of like holistic living, and they want to be like a plastic free country in 2021. All their energy is run off of volcano emissions, and it's super green, and we love that kind of atmosphere.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think it's great because it's not only, as you said, that holistic, just bringing that into everyone's awareness. As you said, it's going to help people with all different, diseases and things, that both mental and physical, that they're dealing with, not just, muscular dystrophy or stuff that's particular to you. You're broadening those horizons, which I think is excellent. Kind of getting back to the golf side of things.
Mm-hmm.
What's the future look like there? Will we see you playing again soon? I know no one knows what the future is now with COVID, and the tour seems to be day to day right now, but any plans to get back into form, get back out there, or what's that look like for you?
Yeah, so I'm 30 years old, and I think golf very luckily can be played into your 50s. Now, even more, you can see players coming to their primes in their late 30s or so. So my plan right now is to get my health right, and then once that is right, and I know it will be eventually, just don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm going to come back to the tour 100%. The PGA Tour has been so great. Commissioner Jay Monahan has been amazing, very supportive, and they give me another medical, and I look forward to redeeming those starts when I'm healthy again. Hopefully, it could be the end of next year, it could be a couple of years down the road, but I took a year off when I went to Nepal, and kind of came back just like anxious, ready to get those starts and play, and like, I did this, I think I'm healing, but
yeah,
I was on the right path, but it didn't happen fully. So now I want to get this thing and then kind of share it with the world and come back.
Well, like you said, you got time, but we just saw Phil just turned 50, right?
Yeah.
And he's a top form right now. So, I mean, for sure, I wish you the best with that journey, getting back there for sure. And we'd love to see you back out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, that would be great. And Morgan, you and I talked a little bit about this before we went on, and you're a Jersey guy, born and raised in right here, Bergen County, where we're actually located. You went to Ramapo High School for a bit?
2 years.
And you're an 07 grad. So I went to Don Bosco Prep. I don't know if we weren't rivals at all in any way, I don't think. But you were pretty close. I think you had Chris Sims on your football team at one point.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's right. And then you moved out to Oklahoma State University, finished up there. Were you with Ricky Fowler? Was that his year?
Yeah, he was there my freshman year, and then I was classmates with Peter Uline. Then Kevin Tway was a year ahead of me, and then Taylor Gooch was a year below me. Okay.
And you played Walker Cup with Fowler?
I did, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We got our facts down, Morgan. Right? Hey, just real quick, back on the area local. What were some of your favorite hotspots around, your favorite courses, other than Arcola, of course?
So I loved. Have you heard of Apple Ridge?
Yeah, they closed it down. There's now houses there.
Yes. They closed it down, but my buddy was the head pro for a while, Tom Flatt, and they always had the best greens, and it was just a fun course to play. But other than that, obviously, Somerset Hills, Ridgewood is, a mile from Arcola. So David Reisner, the head pro there, is a good friend of mine. And where else? Obviously,
Pine Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Baltus Rolls nearby.
You know what? I actually like Liberty National.
Sure.
I love the views, and I think it's a fun course.
Yeah, absolutely. Good old Jersey. There's a lot of fun tracks here in Jersey, right? It's insane.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Great spot. Just wish the season was a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But speaking of your event, you have an event at Arcola every year, right? And it was a massive success, I know, last year. But this year, I believe, again, due to what's going on with COVID, you're doing something else? Are you doing something virtually this year? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, so actually we have an online auction. We're hosting it or Charity Buzz is hosting it on their app and their website. It actually just started yesterday, and it's going until July 9th.
Oh,
We
great.
have some really sick items on there this year. I was lucky enough to have lunch with Jack Nicholas, and he told me, I'd love to put something up for auction. And I was like, well, what would you be willing to do? And he's like, well, why don't you put playing with me at Bears Club, and then having lunch. Yeah, after the first day, I think it's up to like 70 grand or something already. So,
wow.
I was gonna say, as I check my wallet,
I know.
That is cool. That is cool. So where can people find out about it? Just go to your website, or?
Yeah, it's on the front page of our website. It's on my Instagram. It's on our foundation's Instagram. Our website is just morganhoffman.org. And then to sign up, you just click sign up on Charity Buzz, and once you're signed up, type in Morgan Hoffman Foundation, and you'll see all of our items.
Gotcha. Well,
and the plan is to bring it back next year, 2021.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be great. We're starting to plan it already. It's crazy.
I got to imagine a lot goes into planning an event that big. How many people did you have last year? I know it was a big event.
Yeah, the first year we had at the Sunday night dinner and concert, we had 800 people. And then I had Jake Owen perform, and then the next year was Matoma. Have you heard of Matoma, the DJ?
I don't know Matoma.
Oh, you have to look him up. He's the best performer I've ever heard.
Right,
really? Okay.
Yeah. And then Frankie Ballard, he's a country singer. But yeah, we had some awesome celebrities and pros show up and support. It's been a really great event each year.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Frank, we're gonna need waiters outfits.
Yeah. We're gonna do some Wedding Crashers-esque. Don't mind those two waiters. That's gonna be us.
That'd be awesome. If you guys showed up in those suits, I'd give you props for sure.
Well, definitely. Listen, we love a good challenge. that always, yeah. But all right, well, listen, we won't keep you too long. We appreciate you coming on and talking to us. But yeah, I mean, other than that, anything else kind of looking forward for you? Anything else on the schedule for this year?
I'm trying to plan a trip up to Jersey to play some golf. That's other than that, I'll be in Costa Rica for planning the whole month of July, but we'll see.
Yeah. Fingers crossed we all get to traveling a little bit more again, for sure.
Exactly.
For sure. But all right, well, listen, we wish you your best, as far as that continued journey, and keep us posted, because I just think it's so interesting. I mean, just what you're doing with that holistic healing and just uncovering things that otherwise it doesn't hit kind of the mainstream. We just don't hear enough about it. So I think it's just been great to have your voice as a vehicle for all of us. I mean, everybody's afflicted with something, so we can all benefit from at least a bit of what you're exploring. So I know, we've been watching it closely, so we appreciate that, and keep us updated on how that progresses.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. I appreciate the interest, and that statement that you said, everybody has something, and especially in these times, everyone needs to realize that. If someone flips you off in the car tomorrow, give them a thumbs up back. Everyone's going through whatever it is, and we're all trying to fight and be happy. So
that's right.
So true. All you gotta do is read the comments on social media, and that everybody's bothered by something.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Yeah, but no, I appreciate the time, and be well, and we hope to see you out there soon.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Great chatting with you.
Man.
You too. See you guys.
All right, Mike, some wild stuff there. I mean, it's just so cool. I geek out on that stuff sometimes too, just some of the natural and holistic stuff, because it is true. Everybody's struggling with something. Everybody knows the back stuff that I've been going through. I've been trying not to be too reliant on, anti-inflammatories and stuff like that, just using them very sparingly and just trying to reduce inflammation with my diet and stretching and things like that. Obviously, it's nowhere near on the level of what Morgan's doing. But it's cool. It's cool that here's a guy who didn't take his diagnosis sitting down. And not only is he doing it for his own health, but he's using his platform to kind of get it out there to help other people. I think that's just an incredible thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first off, great dude, really chill.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed having him on. But you know, like you said, I mean, you can get handed a diagnosis like that, and then you could just sit back and feel sorry for yourself.
You could, yep.
You know, and here's, you know, Morgan like going all over the world and spending months in other countries and doing this whole, because that's a lifestyle change. You know, the way you're eating. You know, you're not just eating, you know, anything off the shelf.
3 months
burgers,
in
fries,
Nepal,
and shakes anymore. Yeah, you're eating
6 hours
natural,
a day.
Right. You know, psychedelic, you know, mushroom style teas. Come on. So, you know, I do wish him all the best. Like you said to him on the way out, we will follow along in his journey for sure. And dude, like you said, we do have to crash that party. We got to find those wedding crasher tuxedos.
We've been challenged, and we rarely, if ever, back down from a challenge.
Yeah. So Morgan, you heard us. We're coming. 2021. Look for the two guys in the ridiculous
tuxedos, and hopefully we don't get arrested.
You think they'll get us kicked out? He'll be like, "Hey, yo, get those two guys."
No, I think he would.
You said it was cool.
I think he'd be cool with it. I think we'd be about 10 people would try to kick us out before we ever got to him. So we'll see, though. We'll see. I think the disguises are good enough. Maybe we'll get in there. Well, we have some people we know at Arcola too. Maybe we can at least get in the first couple doors.
Right.
But it is a tremendous event every year. I'm sorry to see that they're not having it, but it is really cool, the virtual stuff he's doing. So we'll link to all that in the show notes, guys. You can check that out and find out more on his website. And like I said, all the links will be in the show notes. But it was great getting a chance to chat with him. And I know I always learn something, you know, when we get these different perspectives, and his was, you know, definitely right in there in the mix. But anyway, that's everything we have for you guys this week. Hope you guys enjoyed the interview, and we'll talk with you soon.